DC does a great job at original, but when they take these, I would rather see them follow the story than put their own twist on it.
Yep.
For the most part. So, and yeah, that's my personal opinion. Like, especially when you take iconic storylines like Batman Hush, that are like beloved, and then they don't
need a lot of doctoring. Like, if you want to do that, take something that's more obscure, right? Just something less well known. You've got a little more freedom there, a little more room to play.
But people want to watch it for this.
Yeah.
Like, they want to watch it because they enjoy the story. That's like...
Yep.
Yeah. So take an idea from anime and follow the scripts from the books. Because that's what anime does with manga. I know that might not relate with some people on this, but nonetheless, they changed minor little things. But not like story big moments like this movie or like Injustice, the animated movie, which I feel like you can talk about more because you watched it, and I've heard so many bad things, so I've just avoided it entirely.
Yeah, you don't need to watch it because you're just going to...
be disappointed.
You're just going to be disappointed. You're going to rant. Because here's the problem, okay? It's just not good. It's just not good. So Injustice has been a really popular alternate universe comic run for... Has it been the decade now? Like, it's been a decent chunk of time.
So, so the video came out... And for those of you who didn't know,
it was a video game first?
It was originally a video game.
Okay.
And Tom Taylor was tasked with writing like a prequel. Well, the prequel did so well because DC's like, here's the keys, do whatever you want.
Yep.
And he's like, well, alrighty then.
Right.
We're going crazy.
Right.
So then he basically breaks down the 5 years of buildup of what it takes to the video game.
Sure.
And then where he leaves off in the books is where the video game takes place.
Sure.
And then later on they do Injustice 2, which is the sequel game. And that has its own storyline.
Yep.
And then with alternate endings. But he then writes Injustice 2, which basically shows what happens for the most part between Injustice 1 and Injustice 2.
Yep.
Because Injustice 1, the video game, basically... Superman goes bad, he becomes a dictator, and the main universe heroes, so the main universe Superman, the main universe Batman, they hop over to this alternate timeline because that timeline's Batman's like, we need all the help we can get. I think the only person that can beat Superman is Superman before he went down that bad road.
Okay,
and then in the video game, there's this epic fight between the Supermen.
Nice.
And he's basically fighting... like who he used to be. It's really a very interesting fight.
Yeah.
But and this is like a brutal Superman. This is dictator Superman. He don't take no shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. That's good context. That's helpful. So the comics have obviously been really well received, and I have yet to fully commit to them. I know when the video game first came out, it was a cool concept just for the video game.
Absolutely.
Fun video game to play too. So I thought the concept was sound. So it's been fun to see it bear more fruit than you may have originally anticipated. This animated film, unfortunately, does not deliver in the same way that the video game did, in the same way that the comics have. It's an R-rated animated film, and it just feels like it's R-rated just so that it can, like, kill people in some semi-gruesome fashion whenever it feels like it.
It's like a soft R.
Yep.
Because that's what Killing Joke was. I don't know if you ever watched the animated Killing Joke, which that's a rant for a different day.
Correct.
But...
yeah, and so it just felt unnecessary, like it didn't drive the story forward at all. And it seemed like they were way, way too hasty with killing off members of the Justice League. Like, it's only an hour and 18 minutes long. And I know that's fair for an animated movie, but when it's that brief, man, they just couldn't wait to, like, kill off the Flash, for example.
who, by the
He's a
way,
big deal in the actual Injustice
In the-
storyline.
he's alive still. Like, he didn't die in the first, and he didn't die in the second. That's not a spoiler. That is
Yeah.
legit, like,
Yeah.
he lives.
Yeah. So they killed him off real fast. And the whole process with Superman, like, turning evil it just felt very manufactured, didn't feel very organic at all. So it was hard to even latch on to the legitimacy of that idea of, oh, Superman's gone bad. And Batman and his efforts to combat Superman, like, went too dark. Just didn't really provide a better alternative to the dictator Superman. And tell me, in the comics, does Dick Grayson die?
Yes.
Okay. So they did
But
that
how
in this
did he?
movie.
So
Damian Wayne kills him
by
hitting him with, was it his own, gosh, what was it?
his own stick,
Yeah. Yep.
and then fell, tripped, and broke his neck on a rock.
Close to it. I think in the movie, it just hit him in the the right spot
And he
in his head and just killed him. So he didn't fall and then hit his head on a rock.
Yeah, because that's
It was kind of an incidental death that Damien wasn't trying to kill him, but he also wasn't trying
not to hurt him. Yeah.
Right, definitely not trying not to hurt him. So it was hard to get too excited about it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
because in the comics or in the video game, when you see Nightwing on the screen, it's not Dick Grayson, it's Damian Wayne.
Sure.
In this timeline, Damian
Sure.
Wayne takes up the mantle of Nightwing against probably Batman's wishes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you probably don't know this, but in the actual Injustice comics,
Sure.
he becomes Deadman. He becomes the next Deadman.
So they did that here in this animated movie as well. Something they didn't do enough of, though, like that I really enjoyed hearing you talk about with the comics, is the pulling from other timelines. Like, they do that at the conclusion by pulling another Superman and another Lois Lane out of a different timeline.
Just those two?
Correct. Yeah, just those two. So a real missed opportunity where they could have pulled a lot more out. But no, the R rating was just so that Superman could punch Joker through the chest and rip his heart out, so he could kill Solomon Grundy by flying through him, and
I don't even
So the-
remember if that's how he died in the comics or not.
right, and so the Joker could kill people in some really messed up ways before he was killed by Superman. So hard to. It just wasn't a fully baked story. It felt microwaved. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
fair enough.
we're going to cash in on the hype that the comics and that the video games have built up.
It's such a weird time too to release it.
I know it.
Unless you're going to release a third one, like that would have been more fitting, you know?
Right.
Or-
If they would have said, hey, part 1 with parts 2 and 3 to come,
Yeah.
okay, I think that would have been the right way to approach it. But this just felt like they couldn't make up their mind of what they wanted to do, and they moved too quickly and ended up doing it poorly. So often we recommend what to watch. Sometimes we also do you a favor. Here's what not to watch.
And see, this is actually, I wish something like comic books would do, because I feel like this storyline in general would benefit from.
Yep.
Do like an animated TV show for this.
No
Do an
doubt. No
do an
doubt.
animated TV series on this. I think it'd do really well. And if just stick with the story that was provided for you. You can go through the first 5 years. That's 5+ seasons.
Yeah.
And you can maybe even go down like mini like little side things if you want to, and just not. Yeah, I mean, you don't go overboard, but yeah, I think this is one of those storylines that really benefit from that.
Yeah. Agreed. So it's kind of like it's a layup. Just make your layup. If you're gonna make your own twist or your own movie, just do that. You don't
For
have
sure.
to take alleged inspiration from the comics and then put your own massive twists on it. What we as the fans want to see is what we already have read, just in motion, right?
For sure.
So, yeah, missed opportunity. Wouldn't recommend it to a friend, but instead go play the video game. Go check out the comics. YouTube obviously has all those cutscenes from the video games on there as well if you want an idea of what the storyline is. So pursue that rather than the animated movie. I'd hate it for someone to watch the animated movie and think that's what that's all about. Ugh, that's tough. Ignore it.
For sure. And if you haven't, go read Tom Taylor. The dude's insane, especially when they give him the reins. And we're just like, hey, because I'm not going to lie to you. No one's off limits to dying at all.
Yeah.
I think he's working on, he's got a Marvel series right now that's alternate timeline where it's like all the technology in the world's been shut off.
Oh, jeez.
It's like dark something. I don't know what it's called, but that looked really, really interesting. And then is he doing the DC like Game of Thrones-esque story right now too? Dark Knights of Steel, yes he is.
There you go. Yeah.
Which is insane too. So it's pretty much if you liked Game of Thrones and you like DC Comics, he mixes it perfectly.
That's great. Well, and there is, man, there's so much room for alternate.
He did Deceased too.
There you go. There's so much room for alternate storyline works in comics. So why not lean into that? And it's cool that this guy, Tom Taylor, that's where he has found his sweet spot, where it's, hey, Tom, rather than taking another Tom King, here's Batman, go continue the ongoing Batman story. Instead, it's a, hey, do your own thing, right? Here's the concept that you think is extraordinarily worthwhile. Let's see what you got, and don't worry about adhering to the existing timeline. Just make it your own. So there's a lot of fresh territory to be mined there. So really worthwhile. Good on you, Tom Taylor. We support you. We love it.